Are the days numbered for Trinamool MP Mahua Moitra in the cash-for-query scandal? It is easily 2023's most fiery, most controversial political scandal. And the ethics panel has just dropped another big bombshell. We're going to get you the very latest from site at Parliament. I'm Shiv, this is 5 Live. These are the headlines. Mahua Moitra faces possible expulsion as a Trinamool Congress MP from Krishnanagar, West Bengal. Ethics panel of Parliament report adopted. 6 vote in favour of the report recommending expulsion. 4 are against. Interestingly, one of the 6 supporting expulsion is Congress MP Praneeth Kaur, who votes in favour. She, remember, is BJP leader Amarinder Singh's wife. Big India Today impact after a damning pollution expose. Delhi Mantri assures action on government negligence caught on India Today's cameras. Slew of big nominations in poll-bound Telangana. KCR files nomination for 2 seats. KTR to fight against BJP MLA and former BRS cadre Etala Rajendra. Outrage over Nitish's sex education gyan rages on as opposition MPs in Bihar Assembly continue their protest. Union Minister Smriti Irani slams the India Alliance's silence. Bihar Assembly passes bill to increase caste quota in the state from 50 to 65%. Reservation in educational institutions and government jobs to be raised after caste survey conducted by the Nitish government. India Today's political news break sets the primetime agenda. The Ethics Panel of Parliament has adopted its report 6-4 in favour of expelling Mahua Moitra, the Trinamool MP caught in the cash-for-query scandal amidst a slew of allegations against her for taking favours in exchange for asking certain questions in Parliament. Let's go straight across now to India Today's Piyush Mishra, who has with him members of the Ethics Committee. Piyush, over to you.
Well, certainly, Shiv, a big political breaking which right now we are breaking is that the Parliament Ethics Committee has now adopted its report, and joining me right now is a BJP MP Rajiv Rai. Remember that he is also part of that important Ethics Committee who drafted this entire report, and today that report has been adopted. So thank you for speaking to India Today. My first question to you, what transpired in today's meeting?
Look, the meeting was very specific with the only agenda of whether we are to adopt the report which has been prepared. The report was circulated yesterday at 6 p.m. Report has gone to all the members. All the members had enough time and all, almost 15-20 hours of time to go through the report and all. And then after studying the report, the only question that the chairman asked was that, are you all agreed to adopt this report? So we had said, we had put in our comments. The opposition demanded sort of voting by raise of hands, and in that we did a raise of hands and all, and ultimately their resolution failed. So this thing was adopted, the report was adopted. So from here on, now we submit the report to the Speaker, Honorable Speaker of Lok Sabha, and then take it on from there.
So is the expulsion of Mahua Moitra is evident?
Yeah, it's almost certain.
It's certain, sir. What was the crux of this entire adoption and then the recommendations those have been made?
Now, look, the Ethics Committee has taken a strong exception to what has transpired to us, and with all evidences coming from Ministry of Telecommunication, Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of External Affairs, and we have had serious allegations which are corroborated by facts like login of members' account from offshore 47 times, and the details therein are all there. So obviously this is a serious national security issue, and we have taken strong cognizance of it, and we have taken action. We have recommended action to the speaker.
Certainly, the ethics panel has received a lot of evidences. You also took into consideration the letter which was written by Nishikant Dubey and also the complaint of Jayanath Dehadrai and also the affidavit which was submitted by Hiranandani. What was the biggest evidence which the ethics panel gone through and that was considered to make its recommendation?
Look, the biggest this thing was, of course, the allegation which was there, but it has been corroborated by findings by statement from the Ministry of Information and Technology. They have exactly given how many times this login ID was logged in. Basically, this ID was logged in from offshore. So that was actually the crux.
Sir, also the opposition MPs who were present in that meeting, they are saying that their views were not considered. Is it so?
No, they have got enough time in the last 2 days to air their opinion, and their only intention was to make a political issue out of it. Mr. Danish Ali, Mr. Girdhari Yadav, they shouted like anything on the second day of the meeting, and today also they started shouting and asking for, disruption of the process and all. Obviously, we will not give in to their demand and all, and it is only because that they are trying to make a political issue out of an ethical issue in the parliament.
Can we expect actions to be taken against the opposition MPs like Danish Ali you just mentioned?
We have, because of his unruly behavior, because of his unparliamentary behavior in the ethics committee, because of the language he used against our chairman, we have also made a strong recommendation. We have admonished him, and this report has also gone to the speaker.
Last question, sir. Now we are seeing as to how TMC and Congress party, they have now come out and they are supporting Mahua Moitra. In fact, they are now saying that it is nothing but a political vendetta at the part of government. What do you have to say on that?
Look, we have seen people rising above political consideration. We have seen Mrs. Praneeth Kaur supporting the resolution. So its issue of Congress and Trinamool is not there. It is not the question of who is there with which party, but it is the question of ethics, and we strongly support the views taken by Ms. Praneeth Kaur.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. So, Shive, a big breaking development which we are picking right now from National Capital is that the Ethics Panel Committee has adopted its draft, and that will now be sent to the Lok Sabha Speaker. The important point which we can highlight here is that the expulsion of Mahua Moitra is now almost evident.
Okay, our reporters are fastest on the ground. Piyush first with Rajdeep Roy. Himanshu Mishra is now going to be first with Vinod Sonkar, the chairman of the ethics panel. Himanshu, over to you. First conversation with the ethics panel chief right after that resolution has been adopted.
हमारे साथ बातचीत करने के लिए एथिक्स कमेटी के चेयरमैन विनोद सोनकर। विनोद जी, आज विपक्षी दलों का ये आरोप है, जो सदस्य थे उनका ये कहना है कि आपने मीटिंग बुलाई, 2 मिनट में रिपोर्ट को अडॉप्ट किया, उनकी बात को नहीं सुना, वो कुछ कहना चाहते थे और जल्दबाजी में आपने रिपोर्ट को जो है वो अडॉप्ट कर दिया।
देखिए, दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है, आज का एजेंडा केवल और केवल मात्र इतना था कि जो एथिक्स कमेटी के द्वारा विस्तृत रिपोर्ट तैयार की गई है उसको एडॉप्शन का था। उस पर एडॉप्शन में अगर किसी को आपत्ति तो अपना डिसीजन नोट दे सकता था। बाकी सदस्यों ने, कुछ लोगों ने एडॉप्शन अपना डिसीजन नोट दिया भी है और बाद में कमेटी ने इस पूरे रिपोर्ट को स्वीकार करते हुए बहुमत से माननीय लोकसभा स्पीकर को अपनी संस्तुति के साथ प्रेषित कर दिया।
सर, एक सवाल और है कि उन्होंने कहा कि हिरानंदानी, क्योंकि इस केस में पूरे मुख्य जो है आरोपी भी हैं और गवाह भी हैं, उनको भी बुलाया जाना चाहिए था, जो नहीं बुलाया गया। विपक्ष की ये मांग है कि उनके बिना ये पूरा मामला जो है रिपोर्ट बनाकर जो है वो पेश किया।
मैं इस पर केवल इतना कह सकता हूं कि जब पूरी विस्तृत रिपोर्ट पार्लियामेंट में लेकर दी जाएगी, उसमें आप पढ़ेंगे तो आपको लगेगा कि एथिक्स कमेटी ने पूरी जिम्मेदारी के साथ पूरी जांच परख के बाद अपनी रिपोर्ट संस्तुति के साथ प्रेषित की है।
महुआ मोइत्रा और दानिश अली के खिलाफ इस रिपोर्ट में कार्रवाई की मांग की गई है। ये भी कहा जा रहा है कि महुआ मोइत्रा के खिलाफ जो है सस्पेंशन का अपनी जो है स्वीकृति दी।
देखिए, मैं फिर कहूँगा कि एथिक्स कमेटी ने विस्तृत जांच किया है। जांच करने के बाद जो फैक्ट और फिगर मिले हैं उसको लेके पूरी रिपोर्ट, विस्तृत रिपोर्ट अपनी संस्तुति के साथ माननीय लोकसभा स्पीकर को प्रेषित किया। आगे की कार्रवाई लोकसभा स्पीकर को करनी।
एक अंतिम सवाल है आपसे, क्योंकि ये भी कहा गया कि रिपोर्ट जो है वो मीडिया में पहले लीक हो गई, सदस्यों को बाद में भेजी गई।
देखिए, ये केवल पहले दिन से ही इस तरह का अनर्गल आरोप लगा के पूरी जांच को बाधित करना है। अगर कुछ लोगों ने रिपोर्ट लिखी तो वो जाने, लेकिन मेरे सेक्रेटरिएट और हमारे सामाजिक सदस्यों के द्वारा इस तरह का कोई भी काम नहीं किया गया है। ये केवल और केवल एथिक्स कमेटी को बदनाम करने का, ये वही लोग हैं जो कल तक एथिक्स कमेटी के सदस्यों पर, एथिक्स कमेटी के चेयरमैन पर जिस तरह का आरोप लगाए वो दुर्भाग्य करते हैं।
Okay, India Today's Paulomi is with us live. She fronts our political team that's been breaking all of the developments leading up to the ethics panel adopting its report that recommends the expulsion of Trinamool Krishnanagar MP Mahua Moitra. Paulomi, two main questions that I want to ask. First, now with this report being adopted, we've heard Vinod Sonkar talking about, roughly the procedure. What happens next? Just break it down very simply for us. Now the report goes to Parliament. There will be a vote. The Speaker decides. Just break that down for us as to, how long will it be, or if it will be at all, until Mahua Moitra gets expelled or suspended. How does it work?
Well, it could be as early as the first day of the winter session of Parliament. The winter session of Parliament already, because, we're hearing from our sources within government, is likely to start in the first week of December itself. Because remember, results for the 5 state assembly elections come out on the 3rd of December. So we're looking at a date like the 9th of December. So as early as that is when, in fact, this report will be tabled in Parliament. Remember, this report now will be sent to Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla. It will be tabled in Parliament. After that, the government will move for a motion to adopt the recommendations made in the report, and on the basis of voting which will take place at that point of time, it will possibly just be a voice vote, and by the kind of majority that the BJP and the NDA enjoy in the Lok Sabha, Mahua Moitra's fate will be sealed. Shiv.
Okay, stay with me, Paulomi. Aparajita Sarangi was one of the the 5 BJP MPs on the ethics panel who obviously voted in favor of that report recommending expulsion. Here's what she told us just a moment ago. Here's that conversation.
I can only say that this is anything but politics, anything but political vendetta. There was breach of privilege, there was contempt of house, and there was violation of rules of procedure and conduct of business of Lok Sabha, and that is why this happened. I'm very sad because we had to recommend the expulsion of a colleague from the Lok Sabha. This has happened, but it had to happen. Because, we had all the statements, and all these statements were properly analyzed, and it's a very detailed reporting that has been done, and there was voting too, and as you know, there was 6-4, 6 went in favor and 4 against, and we have sent the report to Honorable Speaker, so the next course of action will be decided by the Honorable Speaker.
Actually, it is very unfortunate. The Speaker, the Chairman, without discussion, actually he promised us, after the witness crossing examination, we are ready to discuss. But without discussion, the Chairman presented a resolution and passed it without our discussion. That is the main point. And moreover, we want to examine the darshan Hiran and Dili. But the Chairman is not allowed us.
Now remember, this report by the ethics panel was adopted 6-4, but one of the 6 who voted in favor of the report recommending the expulsion of Mahua Moitra was this lady, Praneeth Kaur, who happens to be a Congress MP. The other 5 are BJP MPs. The only opposition MP on the ethics panel who voted in favor of expelling Mahua Moitra from Parliament is Praneeth Kaur. That's the biggest takeaway from what has just happened today. 6 ethics panel members voted in favor of Mahua's expulsion, 4 against. Curiously, among those who voted in favor of the expulsion was Praneeth Kaur. Now, the Congress and Trinamool both are part of the India alliance. So Praneeth Kaur voting for Mahua's expulsion has raised a lot of eyebrows. India Today has the complete list of the ethics panel members. Sumedhanand Saraswati is from the BJP, voted for. Hemant Godse, Shiv Sena, for Praneeth Kaur. of the Congress, for Aparajita Sarangi, BJP, for Rajdeep Roy of the BJP, for Vinod Sonkar, is the ethics panel chief, also from the BJP, all voted in favor of Mahua Moitra's expulsion. Now, Danish Ali of the BSP, V. Vaidyalingam of the Congress, P.R. Natarajan of the CPM, and Giridhari Yadav of the JDU voted against, meaning in favor of Mahua Moitra and against her expulsion. We've got some breaking news coming in on that for just a moment. I'll get you more on that in just a moment, but BJP MP Nishikant Dubey, who is seen to be an arch rival in Parliament of Mahua Moitra, has just tweeted on the ethics panel's decision. He has congratulated and applauded Congress MP Praneeth Kaur. Praneeth Kaur, remember, despite being part of the Congress party and part of the India alliance, has voted in favor of Mahua's expulsion. Nishikant Dubey of the BJP says Praneeth Kaur didn't compromise on national security. India is grateful to the braves of Punjab. So many wheels within wheels are moving here. Let me bring in Paulami to make sense of this. Paulami, Praneeth Kaur isn't just an ordinary Congress MP. She is the wife of Amrinder Singh, who we all know famously quit the Congress, before the Punjab elections. He recently joined the BJP as well. So it's not an easy relationship. She's not just your stock Congress MP. There are some discomforts there. We don't know what her relationship is with the Congress leadership at large. Can you put this into context for us? Is this a major standout takeaway from what has happened? Or is this just one of those things that happens because, someone is about to jump ship, etc.?
Well, Shiv, the fact that Nishikant Dubey, who's the complainant in this case, chose to only post about this one particular moment as far as the proceedings of the Ethics Committee are concerned, clearly goes to show how the BJP is gleefully watching what just happened over here. She is, of course, like you said, wife of Captain Amrinder Singh, who's jumped ship to the Bharatiya Janata Party. She, of course, is a member of parliament, continues to be a member of parliament since 2019. As far as the Congress party is concerned, it was expected that she wouldn't, in fact, vote against the adoption of this draft report. There were some murmurs yesterday that maybe she'll skip the meeting in itself, but the fact that Praneeth Kaur came in today and voted with BJP and allies, sent out a very strong statement. Now it remains to be seen what sort of action, in fact, the Congress party will take, because all of the MPs who opposed, in fact, the adoption of this report were to file dissent notes, which they would have filed by now. We'd spoken to all of them. The only confirmation of any sort of dissent note being submitted was not forthcoming from Praneeth Kaur itself. So we had every indication yesterday itself that Praneeth Kaur is either likely to skip the meeting to avoid any possible choice that she'd have to make. But the fact that she came in and she voted with the BJP, you see her in pictures standing behind Vinod Sonkar as he's speaking with the media, and the other MPs, Sumedanand Saraswati, Hemant Godse, Aparajita Sarangi, as they voted with Vinod Sonkar in adoption of that bill, clearly goes to show that Praneeth Kaur has made her choice very clear. It's now for the Congress to decide.
Well, will the Congress decide? Because remember when Amrinder Singh, her husband, had jumped ship and joined the BJP, Praneeth Kaur had decided conspicuously to remain with the Congress party for whatever reasons. But has that changed now? Or is this, as Nishikant Dubey suggests, a decision that Praneeth Kaur has taken in the national interest? All of these, gestures have enormous implications right before elections in the states and right before elections in the centre next year as well. So we're going to look at that very, very closely. Another BJP MP who was one among the 5 BJP MPs that voted for the resolution recommending the expulsion of Mahua Moitra is Aparajita Sarangi, Lok Sabha MP from Odisha. Here is Aparajita Sarangi in conversation with my colleague Himanshu.
मुझे लग रहा है सारी बातें नहीं
बातचीत करने के लिए अपराजिता सारंगी जो एथिक्स कमेटी की सदस्य है। मैम, आज महूआ मोइत्रा मामले का जो है कमेटी ने रिपोर्ट को अडॉप्ट किया, लेकिन विपक्षी दलों का यही कहना है कि पूरी कमेटी की बैठक नहीं खत्म कर दी गई। वो अपना डिसेंट देना चाह रहे थे। वो कहना चाह रहे थे कि हीरा नंदानी को क्यों नहीं बैठक में बुलाया गया, जबकि वो शिकायत में उन्होंने सहयोग भी किया है और वो आरोपी भी।
देखिए, आपने दो बातें कही, हीरा नंदानी जी को क्यों नहीं बुलाया गया, और दूसरी बात आपने भी पूछी कि इतनी जल्दी क्यों बंद हो गया, बातचीत क्यों नहीं हुई, सबको सुनने का मौका क्यों नहीं दिया गया। मैं निश्चित तौर पर कहना चाहूँगी कि हीरा नंदानी जी ने एफिडेविट किया है और वो स्वर्न एफिडेविट है। जब स्वर्न एफिडेविट होता है तो उसके बाद क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन का कोई अर्थ ही नहीं होता। और दूसरी बात मैं कह दूँ कि ये तीसरी सीटिंग थी आज 9 नवंबर, इसके पहले 26 अक्टूबर को हम बैठे थे और उसके बाद हम 2 नवंबर को बैठे थे। और मैं आपको याद दिला दूं कि 2 नवंबर हम सुबह से शाम तक बैठे थे और उसके बाद इन्होंने हंगामा किया था। तो ऐसा है कि श्री देहाद्राई जो कंप्लेनेंट थे, माननीय सांसद निशिकांत दुबे जी जो कंप्लेनेंट थे, उन्हें भरपूर तरीके से और मैं कह दूं बहुत समय दिया गया, उन्हें सुना गया। और उसके बाद महूआ मोइत्रा जी आई और अंग्रेजी में हम कहते हैं अपॉर्चुनिटी ऑफ बीइंग हर्ड, उन्हें भी हम सब ने सुना। दिन भर हम उनके साथ बैठे थे, उन्होंने सारी बातें कही अपनी। और उसके बाद जितने भी डॉक्यूमेंट्स आए थे, जितने कागज़ आए थे, आप जानते हैं मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ IT ने कागज़ दिए थे, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ होम अफेयर्स की तरफ से, तो जितने भी कागज़ आए थे सबको मद्देनज़र रखते हुए आज कमेटी ने अपना रिपोर्ट दिया। और मैं आपको बताना चाहूँगी कि डिसेंट नोट आज दिया गया, सबने अपने डिसेंट नोट दिए और डिसेंट नोट को हमारे चेयरमैन साहब ने स्वीकार किया। और जो भी रिपोर्ट हमारा जा रहा है वो डिसेंट नोट के साथ जाएगा और आगामी दिनों का जो कार्य प्रणाली होगी वो हमारे वाचस्पति महोदय तय करेंगे।
अंतिम सवाल है आपसे, कांग्रेस के जो सदस्य थे या अन्य विपक्षी दलों के सदस्य थे, उन्होंने ये भी कहा कि पंडित को जो उनकी सांसद है उनका दबाव बनाकर जो है उनसे आपने उनको वोट करने के लिए राजी किया।
देखिए, आप मैडम प्रणीत कौर से ही पूछें, वो बड़ी परिपक्व राजनीतिज्ञ हैं, किसी भी दबाव में वो आने वाली नहीं है। उन्होंने सच का साथ दिया और अगर संवैधानिक
लोकसभा क्या होता है ना, हम उस साइड आ रहे हैं सर, उस साइड आ रहे हैं, उतर कर लेते हैं अंदर।
सर आगे की स्ट्रैटेजी क्या होगी, क्या करेंगे अब आप लोग?
अभी पहले उनसे पूछ ले, गिरधारी जी से पूछ ले, गिरधारी से पूछे, मैं करता हूँ।
ठीक है, अंदर ही आ जाओ,
आइए गिरधारी जी अंदर ही आ जाओ।
Initially, the BSP MP against whom also there is likely to be some kind of action taken, though it is not yet clear what action will be taken against him, because the focus of the report that's been adopted by the ethics panel is on Mahua Moitra. Now, these images, of course, are not from now, they're from earlier. These are file images. I'm going to ask our producers to put file prominently on them so that, our viewers are not, distracted by what these images are at this point of time. These images are from October the 3rd, when Mahua Moitra was part of a big protest outside the Krishi Bhavan, which is a separate issue altogether. But Mahua Moitra faces possible expulsion at this point of time. But there is a step-by-step procedure before, any potential expulsion actually will happen. The panel report that has been adopted now by the ethics panel will be sent to the Lok Sabha Speaker. Om Birla will then decide on Mahua Moitra's expulsion. The panel report is to be placed before the Lok Sabha. The Lok Sabha will debate the ethics panel report. The centre can move a motion on the Member of Parliament's expulsion. Mahua can challenge the expulsion report that has been recommended in court as well. So all of these steps exist at this point of time, and the possibility of this being taken to court also exists as a remedy for Mahua Moitra. Paulavi, coming back to you for an update on Mahua Moitra herself. She's understood to be in her constituency in West Bengal at this point of time. She's been tweeting, bring it on as far as the CBI and all of the other things are concerned. Any word from her side, the Mahua camp, as to, how this is going to go? We've heard from Abhishek Banerjee earlier he's facing his own, troubles with the enforcement directorate at this point of time. He has said that Mahua can fight her own battles. A word of support from the Trinamool. Any sense you're getting about how Mahua plans to navigate this, and is the Trinamool fully behind her?
Well, the Trinamool will be sitting down to assess the implications of this. Yes, in a couple of instances, of course, the Trinamool has recently come out, especially after what happened on November 2nd when Mahua Moitra stormed out of the ethics panel meeting and, she alleged that the committee chairman was asking her deeply private questions which were sordid in nature, which were completely unethical. At that point of time, the Trinamool did field one of their feisty netas from Bengal, Shashi Panja, to defend Mahua Moitra, and it was one of those rare occasions. And today, of course, Abhishek Banerjee spoke outside the Enforcement Directorate office in Kolkata as well, saying, of course, Mahua is absolutely capable of fighting her own battles. But why is this happening? This is only happening because there are individuals who are vocal opponents of the government and they take the government head on. So those are those rare occasions which you can literally count on your fingers when the TMC has come out to speak on this matter. The TMC, I've been speaking to my sources within the party, they categorically stated that they'll wait to see how proceedings move forward as far as the ethics panel probe is concerned. Now, while it's virtually known what the ethics panel has, of course, decided, though, of course, through reports that we've heard and seen parts of, it is a report which will go to the Lok Sabha Speaker. It remains to be seen if the party will now officially react to this, or will they wait for proceedings to take place in Parliament when this report is brought before Parliament. But clearly, we are expecting that by late this evening, Mahua Moitra will react officially as well as far as the proceedings of the committee were concerned today.
Okay, Poulomi, thanks very much for that. And Poulomi also reporting a very crucial bit of context to the Praneeth Kaur, Congress MP, voting in favour of that resolution to expel Mahua Moitra. Praneeth Kaur reportedly was suspended by the Congress party in February for anti-party activities. So technically she continues to be a Lok Sabha MP of the Congress party, but she was suspended for anti-party activities. So that gives you some context as to, what the Praneeth Kaur factor that is being lauded by the BJP at this point of time really actually means. We're taking a very quick break, but this big political scandal has just gone entirely to the next level. You'll be seeing the big stakeholders of this ugly drama live here on India Today on Prime Time. Thanks for watching this first section of 5 Live. Coming up on the other side, as promised, a big ground report coming in from the Israel-Gaza border as the Israeli Defense Forces have completely surrounded Gaza City, the biggest metropolis inside of the Gaza Strip, and this heralds the most dangerous phase of this ground operation. That's next.
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
Raju Tea Stall must stop in Bhopal. Kachori, nice.
The credit of transforming Madhya Pradesh goes only to Shivraj Singh Chauhan.
How the BJP is fighting in Madhya Pradesh. How many of you think India is going to win the World Cup here? Arey wah. We call this bhaji. Rajdeep the laddu maker. क्या करना पड़ता है लाइफ में. शिवराज सिंह को विदाई के टाइम आ चुकी है.
My religion is not my politics.
आपको लाडली बहना में पैसे आ रहे हैं कि नहीं?
आ रहे हैं ना.
कितने आ रहे हैं?
1250.
Nothing like dal fry on the highway.
Why is it so personal for you, this battle? I see you are one of the fiercest opponents of KCR in a state where everybody seems co-opted in some way or the other. Why is this so personal for you?
It is not personal. बहुत ज़्यादा उम्मीद से बहुत ज़्यादा 1200 लोग शहीद होकर हम तेलंगाना हासिल किए. हर दूसरे प्रदेश के जैसे उत्तर प्रदेश, मध्य प्रदेश या राजस्थान जैसे हमारा स्टेट नहीं बने. हमारा स्टेट बने 1200 लोग शहीद होकर हम हासिल किए।
So what do you think he's done wrong? Where did the Telangana vision that you had together not come together?
जो यहाँ के योद्धा के कुर्बानी जो है वो टेक इट ग्रांटेड पे ले लिए। ये समझ रहा है ये सक्सेस उनके परिवार के। अरे भाई उनके परिवार ने किया बतकम्मा के लिए या बोनालू के लिए या नहीं तो सकल जन सम्मेलन में एक भाषण दिए, इतना ही किए उनके परिवार ने। रास्ता रोक किए, बंद में पार्टिसिपेट किए। जान थोड़ी दिए, जान हम दिए, कैसा हम उठाए, जेल को हम गए, कुर्बानी हम दिए। हमारे कुर्बानियों के ऊपर इनका लाइफ इतना फ्लरिश हो गए।
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com. You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
The Arvind Kejriwal government in Delhi announces more measures to curb pollution as the national capital chokes on smog. The AQI in several areas of the city and its suburbs remains in the hazardous range. The state government has banned the entry of app-based commercial cabs like Ola and Uber, which are not registered in Delhi.
ऐप बेस्ड जो रजिस्ट्रेशंस हैं उनमें जो बाहर के स्टेट से जो टैक्सियां आती हैं उनको बैन लगाया जाए। ट्रांसपोर्ट विभाग को ये निर्देश दिया गया है।
The Delhi government says the odd even scheme will be implemented after the Supreme Court reviews its effectiveness.
अभी हमने ये निर्णय लिया है कि हमारे पास दो बड़ी स्टडीज हुई हैं ऑड इवन पे। एक तो हार्वर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी और शिकागो विश्वविद्यालय ने ज्वाइंट स्टडी की थी ऑड इवन को लेकर के, और दूसरा जो है दिल्ली टेक्निकल यूनिवर्सिटी DTU ने स्टडी की थी। तो इन दोनों की जो स्टडीज़ रिपोर्ट हैं वो भी हम अगली सुनवाई में सुप्रीम कोर्ट के सामने उसको हम सबमिट करेंगे कि उनकी क्या रिपोर्ट्स है, उनकी जो स्टडीज़ हैं।
The government has announced winter break for all schools in Delhi from November 9th to November 18th. This means there will be no winter break in December or January. The BJP has hit out at the Kejriwal government, blaming it for the city's current mess. Not just Delhi, all of North India is suffering foul air. The National Green Tribunal has taken cognizance of the rising air pollution across different states and issued notices to 7 states, including Delhi and Punjab, to take immediate steps. With Ashutosh Mishra in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Raju Tea Stall, must stop in Bhopal. Kachori, nice.
The credit of transforming Madhya Pradesh goes only to Shivraj Singh Chauhan.
How the BJP is fighting in Madhya Pradesh. How many of you think India is going to win the World Cup here? Arre wah. We call this bhaji. Rajdeep the laddu maker. क्या-क्या करना पड़ता है लाइफ में. शिवराज सिंह को विदाई के टाइम आ चुकी है.
My religion is not my politics.
आपको लाडली बहना में पैसे आ रहे हैं कि नहीं?
आ रहे हैं ना,
कितने आ रहे हैं?
1250.
Nothing like dal fry on the highway.
Deadliest phase of Israel's Hamas hunt. Israeli troops surround Gaza city. Hamas entrenched in tunnel network. Biggest risk now to IDF forces. More blood ahead for both sides. Super exclusive ground coverage.
Despite all the blood that has already been spilt between Israel and the Gaza Strip, perhaps the most violent phase of the hunt for Hamas is probably just ahead of the Israeli Defense Forces. And the reason I say that now is because the Israeli Defense Forces, as you will see in pictures that have been just put out by them, is of them completely surrounding Gaza City, which is the biggest city in the Gaza Strip, with images of Israeli soldiers attacking the tunnel network that is said to house the Hamas control and command centers. Pictures of on your screen right now are the latest images coming in from the Gaza Strip, released by the Israeli Defense Forces, depicting combat engineers currently working to destroy Hamas terrorist infrastructure in northern Gaza, including, as you can see, tunnels, water and oxygen storage tanks discovered inside the tunnel network, indicating that Hamas is preparing for a prolonged standoff from underground, with a large part of northern Gaza completely razed to rubble and debris. 130 tunnel entrances have been destroyed since the beginning of this war, and the Israeli Defense Forces believe this is just the tip of the iceberg. The deadliest phase of Israel's Hamas hunt has officially begun now. Israeli forces have surrounded Gaza City. The images you see here are not very far from Gaza City. The tanks have rolled in, but they are not getting into the city because there is huge risk there. There, it's a built-up area, and the possibility of extremely violent urban warfare is extremely high. Israeli troops may have surrounded the city, vowing to crush the Hamas for its October massacre, but Israeli soldiers are playing it safe and staying their ground outside the city, with only special forces actually moving inside Gaza City. They're busy destroying tunnels in the same settlements and streets where Hamas terrorists planned and plotted the October 7th attack. Here's the very latest from the ground.
Israeli forces are being greeted by Hamas tunnels across Gaza City. At every street, at every corner, there's a tunnel. As Israeli soldiers dig through the ground, terror hideouts continue to unravel. This is Beit Lahiya in Gaza City. The Hamas terrorists gave a tough fight to Israeli ground forces here. But now the Israeli army is destroying tunnels in the same settlements and streets where Hamas terrorists planned and plotted the October 7th attack.
זה מצביעים שמשמשים את האויב בחיבור בעצם מסנני אוויר לתת.
Since Israel's ground offensive began on October 27th, it has so far blasted more than 130 Hamas tunnels. As you move past the labyrinth of tunnels, there's only destruction in Gaza City. Wherever you look, there are ruined buildings, collapsed roofs. The entire settlement is scattered in dust. These are not ordinary pictures. The truth of Gaza City came to light when a group of journalists along with Israeli army entered the Gaza Strip. This is what they saw in just 1.5 hours. The 401 Brigade of the Israeli army is deployed on the front in this area. They move forward only on tanks. After inspection, Israeli army soldiers come out and enter each house and investigate.
One of the first soldiers that came in this neighborhood. And yes, when we came in, we weren't shooting when we just came in. We were getting shot at. They were shooting at us. So we had to shoot back to protect our lives. I'll tell you something. The Israeli army is here to protect innocent people.
It is clear that there was a family apartment above this, but below was a workshop for making weapons and drones. Tools, pipes, and 5 boxes all kept there.
You understand? This is not an army. It's different. They meant to kill us all. They came from here.
Israeli army soldiers spent their time from morning till evening locating the hideouts of Hamas among these ruins.
We're getting to know the enemy a little bit more and more every time, every house we're getting into. And we're trying to be careful for ourselves all the time. And it's very good so far.
Only Israeli army armored vehicles or tanks are being used to enter Gaza City. Israeli army soldiers are parking their tanks by building sand dunes in the settlements inside the city. With Rajesh Pawar from Tel Aviv, Bureau Report, India Today.
And I want to go across to our man on the ground, Rajesh Pawar, who is in Nitzana, which is in southern Israel. It's on the Israel-Egypt border, where Rajesh has just been reporting on aid crossing over from Israel to Egypt so that that aid can be funneled towards Gaza from the Rafah crossing. Rajesh, we're hearing about what's happening inside Gaza today, the surrounding of Gaza City, images coming out from the IDF of active bombing of some of those tunnel networks. What are you hearing from inside? Because we're hearing that the complete surrounding and encirclement of Gaza City is one thing, but the risks of actually moving in could pose many more dangers going forward.
Very true, Shiv. You see, the urban warfare is the worst nightmare of any army. And we're talking about tanks and armored personnel carriers right now. Normally, in convention, they bypass such cities or urban centers because tanks move inside highly urbanized area. There are narrow alleys and streets, and they can be fired upon by anti-tank weapons from any rooftop, from any window, and it poses a big threat to them. And that is why normally they degrade the target first, they soften the target first from outside, and generally it's in infantry and the special forces which move in to clear targets. And in such areas like Gaza City, they have to clear street by street, house by house. So it is going to be a very, very long and very tedious operation and will result in a lot of casualties. As it is, IDF has suffered more than 350 dead by now. and this casualty rate is likely to rise with every passing day. Shiv.
Okay, Rajesh, thanks very much for getting us that update. In fact, we've just had a breaking update coming in from the surrounding region. An IDF, an Israeli fighter jet has eliminated terrorist Ibrahim Abu Maghsib, head of the Hamas anti-tank missile unit in the central part of the Gaza Strip and the Central Camps Brigade. So another Hamas big fish has reportedly been eliminated in an Israeli airstrike. As part of his position, Maghsib directed and carried out numerous anti-tank missile launches directed at Israeli civilians and soldiers, according to the IDF. And those are images of that airstrike in which Abu Maghsib was reportedly eliminated earlier today or yesterday. Well, that's something that was happening inside the Gaza Strip. But remember, tensions are high around Israel as well, especially with Iran's many proxies bearing their fangs and raising the temperatures against Israel. After cruise missiles and ballistic missiles were launched by Yemen against Israel and intercepted by allied forces, now Yemen claims to have shot down an American MQ-9 Reaper drone, a $32 million armed Reaper drone, which is the cutting edge of American drone warfare, flying over the Red Sea, was shot down by Yemeni Houthi rebels using a surface-to-air missile. They released video footage of that drone being shot down. Those are the images on your left. And the United States government and Pentagon have in fact confirmed that an MQ-9 Reaper drone has in fact been shot down over international waters, even though the Houthi rebels say these were Yemeni territorial waters and they acted in self-defense. That video depicts it. Remember, the MQ-9 drone is very similar to the Sea Guardian and Sky Guardian drones that the Indian government is about to purchase about 31 of. They're very, very similar. They are similar to look at. They're similar in size and will also carry similar kinds of armaments and sensors. It is that kind of a drone, in fact, that has been shot down by the Yemeni rebels. And this has, in fact, raised temperatures interminably in the region, suggesting that this has gone way beyond just Israel versus Hamas in the Gaza Strip. Remember, the United States has deployed in mammoth force with 2 aircraft carrier battle groups already deployed in the region to deter against any Iranian escalations. But Iran continues to escalate through its proxies, the Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, Hamas in Gaza, and in this case, the Houthis in Yemen. And a third piece of breaking news that we've gotten to you is that Israeli soldiers have located a Hamas weapons production and storage facility inside a residential building right next to a children's bedroom, they say. IDF soldiers discovered a Hamas weapons manufacturing and storage facility used to reportedly produce and store drones and weapons. The site was located in a residential building in close proximity to schools in the center of the Sheikh Radwan neighborhood in northern Gaza. This is very much, remember, in keeping with the Israeli allegation that Hamas terrorists have constantly embedded their infrastructure in civilian areas as a human shield and to give Israelis second thoughts about striking known targets. In the building, Hamas explosives and operational plans were found right next to a children's bedroom, according to the Israeli forces. But remember that the humanitarian crisis in Gaza is very real. In picture after picture emerging from the Gaza Strip over the last 35 days, the situation is visibly becoming a large-scale global humanitarian crisis. Gazans are reeling through a crisis that is expanding. As the Israel-Hamas war has entered day 34, it's been complete bloodshed where lives have been lost. Take a look at this ground report by India Today's Rajesh Pawar from Nitzana, where trucks carrying aid are entering into Egypt and then into the Gaza Strip.
What you see behind me, the movement of these lorries, these trucks, they are the trucks laden with humanitarian aid meant for Gazans. This aid has come from several countries. We have seen containers from Indonesia, Kuwait, which landed in Egypt. They were loaded onto trucks and they were brought into Nizza crossing here in Israel. So they can be inspected by the IDF so that there's no contraband or anything which Israelis do not want to enter Gaza. After these trucks are inspected, which are having medicine, food, water, and other supplies meant for the Gazans, they go back to Egypt. And you can see the Egyptian border behind there. Now these trucks are going back into Egypt from Israel. And once they reach the Egyptian territory, they'll be escorted by the Egyptian army till Rafah crossing, which is between Gaza and Egypt. And from there, they will enter inside Gaza. This is quite an historic moment, the kind of collaboration we are seeing between Egyptian army and IDF. For the first time, it looks like IDF has placed so much of trust on Egyptian army that they have allowed Egyptian army to monitor these trucks right till Rafah so that nothing is loaded onto them on the way till the time they reach Rafah, and it doesn't create problem for IDF in Gaza. I'm right now at Nitzana border crossing between Egypt and Israel. On the other side of me is Sinai, which is part of Egypt. We have a huge convoy of humanitarian goods right now, which Israel is permitting for the first time from their territory to go into Rafah border crossing into Gaza Strip. You can see behind me, there's Egyptian Red Cross stickers on all these trucks. So it's being coordinated by the Red Cross and Egyptian Red Cross. And you can see there's so many trucks laden with goods here. And all these trucks from here, after they have been checked by the IDF, because IDF wants to make sure there is nothing in these trucks which is prohibited by them to be taken inside Gaza Strip, like ammunition, arms, fuel, or any other kind of stuff which they do not want to enter inside Gaza Strip. After they have checked and cleared these trucks from here, they will go back to Egypt and from there onto Rafah crossing, and then they will enter Gaza Strip. And throughout on the route from here till Rafah crossing in Egyptian territory, it will also be monitored by IDF in coordination with the Egyptian army. So it's first time we're seeing a huge convoy of humanitarian aid entering Rafah into Gaza Strip with the coordination with IDF. This is Rajesh Pawar from Egypt-Israel border for India Today.
India Today, remember, continues to be the only channel reporting from Israel, from Gaza, reporting on the crisis on both sides and reporting every single aspect of it factually, so you can watch war reporting the way it's meant to be reported. Thanks for watching 5 Live. I'll see you again tomorrow. 6 p.m. Prime with Akshita comes up next. The big political battlefield that's heating up in Telangana. All the big heavy hitters filed their nominations today. Where do things stand? Who's most battle ready? All of that with Akshita next.
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
बिहार विधानसभा में माननीय मुख्यमंत्री नीतीश कुमार जी ने जो स्टेटमेंट दिया है महिलाओं को लेके, वो स्टेटमेंट बहुत ही दुखदायक है और पब्लिक प्लेटफॉर्म में ऐसा चीज़ें बोलना बहुत ही पीड़ादायक है। लेकिन ये पहला मौका नहीं है। आज लगातार 1 साल का अंदर में नीतीश कुमार जी ने ऐसा स्टेटमेंट दे रहा है जिससे अगर आप देखते हैं उससे आपको लगेगा कि कहीं ना कहीं नीतीश कुमार जी ने अपना मानसिक संतुलन खो दिया है।
कि नीतीश कुमार इंडिया अलायंस के संस्कारों का परिचय देते हुए देश की महिला के बारे में जिस प्रकार से अभद्र बात बोल चुके हैं, उसका 24 घंटा बीत गया, अब तक ना कांग्रेस पार्टी ने खंडन किया, ना इंडिया अलायंस के किसी भी नेता ने खंडन किया। और महिला संबंधी ऐसी घटिया बातें जब इंडिया अलायंस के नेता करते हैं तो सांप सूंघ जाता है कुछ लोगों को।
Weather forecast now. Delhi, maximum 31 and minimum 26 degrees. Mumbai, maximum 30 and minimum 28 degrees. Kolkata, maximum 29 and minimum 23 degrees. Bangalore, maximum 26 and minimum 19 degrees. Chennai, maximum 30 and minimum 27 degrees. Hyderabad, maximum 29 and minimum 22 degrees.
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
How do you see all of this? Do you accept that the BJP now is slowly tightening the noose around the opposition? Whether it is Kejriwal in Delhi, whether it is Congress leaders in the states?
No, हमारे को तो पहले से ही वो विरोध करते हैं. He is opposing us since beginning. This is not a new thing. वो हमको भी यूमिन हो गया. वो करता है, हम उसको जवाब देते रहते हैं. लेकिन जो नए लोग उनके साथ हमसे कभी नहीं मिले, हमारे कोई प्रोग्राम में नहीं आए, हमारे यूनिटी में कभी बात नहीं करे, उन लोगों के लिए बोल रहा हूँ मैं. हम तो हमारी तो बार बार वो हमारे साथ उनकी लड़ाई होती है. And you see, we have to fight 4 candidates. कांग्रेस का 1 कैंडिडेट और हमारे मोदी साहब के 4 कैंडिडेट.
Who are the 4?
हाँ?
Who are the 4?
एक तो मोदी खुद ही है, हमारे साथ लड़ते हैं, क्योंकि कहीं भी जाते, wherever he goes, look at me, मुझे देख के वोट दो, बोलते नहीं.
So that's one. Modi is one.
And their Shah,
Amit Shah is your second.
क्योंकि उसके पास ईडी है. ईडी इज हिज वेपन. सो नंबर 2 सीबीआई उनके पास ही है. देन इनकम टैक्स उनके पास. ये 3 तो हो गए उनके स्टार प्रचारक. ऑल 3 दे आर देयर स्टार कैंपेनर. देन उसको रिपीट करते हैं मोदी जी और शाह जी. तो इसीलिए इतने लोगों को हम फेस करना पड़ता है.
Stall must stop in Bhopal. Kachori, nice.
The credit of transforming Madhya Pradesh goes only to Shivraj Singh Chauhan.
How the BJP is fighting in Madhya Pradesh. How many of you think India is going to win the World Cup here? अरे वाह! We call this bhaji. राजदीप the लड्डू मेकर. क्या क्या करना पड़ता है लाइफ में.
शिवराज सिंह को विदाई के टाइम आ चुकी है.
My religion is not my politics. आपको लाडली बहना में पैसे आ रहे हैं कि नहीं?
आ रहे हैं ना.
कितने आ रहे हैं?
1250.
Nothing like dal fry on the highway.
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
Titan Eye Plus, expert who cares. Dulux Velvet Touch feels like home.
Get set for the biggest Telangana takkar. KCR sets stage for mouth-watering contest. KCR versus Revant Reddy in Kamareddy.
ये कांग्रेस जीत से ज्यादा केसीआर हार के